Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and today we're going to be talking about how the Steelers offense should play without George Pickens on the field. It looks like he will be out for at least this week's game against the Philadelphia Eagles, and honestly, I don't love his chances of playing against the Baltimore Ravens in week 16 either. So what did the Steelers do without their number one receiver? We're going to be breaking it down today on Steelers Talk. But before we get into the content today, get us going by putting a comment down there in the comments section. And let me know, what is your concern level for this offense without George Pickens in the lineup? Put it on a scale of 1, meaning not worried at all, to 10, meaning it's a 5-alarm fire, DEFCON 1, all this different stuff. You're absolutely panicking. Let me know your concern level down there in the comments. So the challenge of having George Pickens out of the lineup is that he is really your only true dynamic receiving threat, your only alpha type receiver. And because he is out of the lineup, you're really going to have to prove to the rest of the defenses here in the National Football League that you play that they need to respect guys like Calvin Austin III, Van Jefferson, and Mike Williams, or potentially even Roman Wilson, potentially, if he could come back from his hamstring injury. But I digress on that. Like, these defenses are going to play extremely close to the line of scrimmage. They're going to play extremely aggressively. They're going to try to take away the run in the short passing game until the Steelers make them stop, and that is the first key to playing without George Pickens, is that you got to keep the defense honest. And the way that you do that is you throw the ball down the field early and often. All right, you do it often and early. So I'm talking about this week against the Eagles. You can expect Vic Fangio, who's usually kind of an off coverage kind of guy, to play a lot of press coverage, to play a lot of in your face, force the Steelers to throw the ball down the field. So if I'm the Steelers, that's what I'm doing. I'm going play action deep shot to Mike Williams on the first drive. All right, if I am Russell Wilson and Arthur Smith, I want to get that going, and I want to instill some fear in the Philadelphia Eagles early in this football game of a deep threat, that Russell Wilson, even without George Pickens, is going to let the ball loose 20-plus yards down the field. So I think Russ and Big Mike need to have that connection going this weekend on those moon balls to be able to instill that fear and that respect from the Philadelphia Eagles defense and open things up for the rest of this Steelers offense. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. Which wide receiver or tight end on the Steelers roster will need to step up the most in George Pickens' absence? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, let me know which Steelers receiver needs to step up. Second thing the Steelers need to do without George Pickens is get the run game going. And this has been something that I think a lot of people, when they talk about the Steelers, like, man, the Steelers can run the football. And it's like, theoretically they can. Najee Harris and Jalen Warren are a pair of really good running backs. But in actuality, the efficiency of the Steelers' run game this year has not been very good. Take a look at their yards per carry this year. It's 3.9 yards per carry this season, which ranks 29th in the National Football League. So this is something that's going to have to get better as the weeks go on here, especially without George Pickens, because you're going to want to shorten football games. You're going to want to keep your defense off the field. You don't want to get into shootouts with George Pickens off the field. So you want to be able to control the clock, control the line of scrimmage, and you want to be able to move methodically down the field. And the way that you do that is you run the football effectively. They did a better job of this last week against the Cleveland Browns. That Najee and Jalen both had pretty decent afternoons. They got to continue that trend here, even against a couple tough fronts in the Eagles and the Ravens coming up here in the next 2 weeks. Another thing that the Steelers need to do schematically here is I think they need to get away from the shotgun stuff that they've been doing a lot more lately of. And I think they need to go back under center, and they got to live there. All right, and the reason why that is, guys, is because I think that it gives the Steelers some very specific benefits here. The first one is you get more options in the run game. All right, when you're handing the ball off from shotgun, it really limits the amount of concepts in the run game that you can run. But if you're under center, you can run a whole bevy of different concepts here, and the leverage is much, much better when you're handing the ball off from under center as opposed to when you're in shotgun. So that's the first one, and that's going to help the run game out. Number two, you can work in play-action bootlegs. Russell Wilson is excellent throwing on the run, especially to his right, and Darnell Washington is awesome at kind of like that chip, flat kind of route, right? And Russ does a really good job of getting in the football in those instances. And that also sets up the play-action deep shots. Have Russell Wilson really sell that fake, pull that football, and then when all the linebackers and safeties come up, you got one-on-one coverage with the receiver, hopefully Big Mike down the field, and that's when you can let it rip and really force that Eagles defense to respect the deep ball that Russell Wilson's going to be bringing to the table on Sunday. So coming up here on Steelers Talk, more keys to success without George Pickens on the field for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. But before we get into my 3 other keys for the Steelers' success without their number 1 receiver, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Prize Picks, which is the best place to get real money sports action all on your phone this football season. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect, and it means you can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Also, Prize Picks now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday, where every Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. You guys can see here my Prize Picks lineup here for Thursday Night Football and heading into Sunday is that they got a great promotion right now on passing yards for Patrick Mahomes. It's pretty much a guaranteed win there. If you take the more on the passing yards, just 0.5 pass yards for Mahomes. Going to also take the more on receiving yards for George Kittle at 60.5, and I'll take the more on Kyren Williams rushing and receiving touchdowns. I think that he's going to get into the end zone tonight. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly when you use code CLNS after playing your first $5 lineup on the Prize Picks app today. Prize Picks, run your game. So another thing I think the Steelers need to do is they need to use 12 personnel more. And I think I don't want them to go crazy and go 13 personnel because I don't think Michael Pruitt or Connor Hayward really provide much value to this offense when they're on the field, if I'm being completely honest with you. But for those of you that don't know, 12 personnel means 1 running back, 2 tight ends, and then also 2 wide receivers on the field in a given formation. And I want Pat Freiermuth and I want Darnell Washington on the field. Pat Freiermuth has done a much better job as a blocker this year. He's really bought into Arthur Smith's culture in terms of the blocking. Plus, he's a really good short to intermediate route runner and a physical ball winner at the catch point. And then you got Darnell Washington, who's a beast in the run game, blocking-wise, and then he can also kind of sneak out into that little flat route off a chip that he's been doing all season, and he's been really effective as that, doing that as well. And plain simply, guys, they're both assets to this passing game, so you might as well use them. You might as well put them both on the field, and I would usually have Mike Williams and Calvin Austin III as your 2 receivers on the field at any given time. Then another thing the Steelers offense needs to do is they need to stay on schedule because, with George Pickens, you don't have that safety blanket. You don't have that guy you can consistently go to that's going to be open, that you can really trust at any point in the game to go and get you a big catch. So because of that, you got to try to stay away from 3rd and longs. You guys try to stay in 3rd and manageables or 3rd and shorts. And the way you do that is you avoid penalties and sacks at all costs. Get the ball out of the hands of Russell Wilson's hands. Avoid those penalties. Cough, cough, Broderick Jones, don't hold, please. Do all these things here to keep you in front of the sticks there and on schedule so that you can stay in 3rd and manageables and 3rd and shorts and maintain drives throughout football games. So before I reveal my final key to success for the Steelers offense without George Pickens, let's have a little bit of a word here to discuss you potentially clicking that subscribe button right now. We got daily Steelers videos, free and informative for you guys every single day. Breaking news coverage during the offseason whenever the Steelers make a big move. It's all 100% free, guys, so join the over 70,000 people that are already a part of the Steelers Talk family. We are currently the largest independently run Steelers news channel here on the YouTube platform. That's all because of your guys' support, so thank you guys so much for that. Make sure you click that subscribe button for more videos. The final thing that the Steelers need to do here to play without George Pickens is to not turn the ball over, and this is the thing that the Steelers have actually done very well throughout this season. Now, they're going to have to play better and more efficient in the run game. They're going to have to stay on schedule a little bit better, all these different things. But, turning the ball over has not been an issue for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they just need to keep doing what they're doing in this department. They only have 11 giveaways so far here in 2024, which ranks in the top 6 in the National Football League, right now, and that is certainly sustainable here for this model. If you're turning the ball over, that puts your defense in tough spots, all these different things. It gives undue points to the opposition, and with George Pickens not on the field, the Steelers can't afford to give any easy points to their opponents, especially when it's teams of the caliber of the Eagles, Ravens, and Chiefs coming up here in the next 3 games. So predict it for me down there in the comments section. How many points will the Steelers score versus the Eagles this week without George Pickens? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Do they break 20 points? Can they get to 30 points? Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down there in the comments section and predict how many points the Steelers score on Sunday. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Really do appreciate your guys' support. Thank you for making it to the end of today's video. We got more videos coming up here before the watch party for Steelers versus Eagles starting at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. So don't miss any of that Steelers content by clicking that subscribe button right now.